Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, sim racing fans from around the world. Welcome into round 2 of the IIL, ILAKA Esports and Karting GT3 series, live from, this time, one of the most iconic circuits in the world, Spa. This is a place where history and high stakes meet. Today, it promises will kind of be broken. No shortages of drama across both the silver and gold series. First up on track today is our silver class. They will contest in that 20-minute heat race, then of course go up in their 20-minute feature with no inversion. I say no inversion because we got to remember the gold series follows on this same broadcast, same exact live stream. They got the same setup there, except after their feature race, top 10 drivers will be inverted. So that will be something to watch here, but as we cut to almost a live virtual trackside coverage here, we'll take a look at our points. I know we're only the second race into the season here, but battles already starting to heat up, not only on track, but as well as our points battles. Rodham Blev, Guy Bagster-Ridigan, as well as Liron Shooter there rounding out our top 3. It is extremely close within those top 3, just within one race or two of pretty much everything tipping on its head there. How about Tal Stern, one of the league owners here in the Israel iRacing League? He's going to round it out P4 in the points for now. Tal was very, very quick in practice here. That's going to have to be a driver that we keep an eye on here tonight from Spa. Ido Tal, Benny Sorick, Gabriel Fuchs, Fuchs. Yes, there you go. Yarden Levi, Artie Goldberg, Mini Land. There you see a little yellow mark by his name, or orange, whatever you want to call it. Mini will be starting from the pits here today with a penalty there from last race 2 weeks ago from Brands Hatch. Ofer Mazuz and Aaron Frinkle there rounding out our top 12 in the points. Real quick, we'll take a look at our gold series standings before we once again get to a live trackside coverage. So gold that's going to follow our feature race here tonight from Silver Series, but Alon Gabe, he's going to round us out up there up in front of the Gold Series drivers. But once again, take a look at the top 3 battles. Matter of fact, it's tied there between Daniel Bidazowski and Yuval Rosen there. Second and third tied up within the points. It's Grossman rounding out P4 in the points. Rodham Katz, Ayeli Yoshi Gabe, Rancesoni down there, unfortunately, in 8th. Did not have the races he was looking for 2 weeks ago from Brands Hatch. Matty Rosen, Yuval Merrick, Omri Farag, Sisyan Baba, Mark Zubarev, Ignacio Glumser, drawer last in that top 15. Alrighty, welcome in here once again to Spa as we take a look at the, there's our Rouge, one of our, this is kind of that is a historic corner just in of itself here, as we now, we're going to have drivers gridding up. We'll take a look at, before we take a look at the starting grid, we'll take a look at our kind of track layouts here tonight. We got about 7 kilometers to work with. Also, that makes about 4 miles of track to work with. Also, maybe about 21 turns. Count them all here. You're going to definitely, I don't know, if you play the F1 EA Sports games, they classify this track as easy. What are they on here? I have no clue. Track length 6.9 kilometers. We're working with a temperature of 28 degrees Celsius, sitting at an altitude of 463 meters. Live here from virtual Belgium. We got the endurance layouts here tonight, 21 turns. Let's take a look at that starting grid. Rodem Lev, remember this driver swept us 2 weekends ago in that Gold Series out there from Brands Hatch. Got P1 in the Heats race as well as the feature. He's going to put it out there on P1. Rodem, we might have to start seeing you in the Gold Series. Ido Tal, Tal Stern, Leron Schuster will start up in that second row. Yaron Levi, Benny Sorek, Ofer Mazouz, Aaron Frankel, Gabriel Fuchs, Guy Biddy. Ooh. Biddy, that's a newer name. If you, sorry here, if you're new to Stam Studio Network, you know that I'm going to need about at least a race or two here to get some newer names down. Speaking of some newer names, Guy, remember Guy finished P2 in our feature 2 weeks ago. He's going to start down there P11, not that qualifying result that Guy was looking for. And then there's Mini Lands once again. Unfortunate that he will have to start in from the pits, but I wouldn't count out Mini because that might be the safest spot to start from this race. All right, we got a little bit of a breeze here along our little front straightaway here from Spa. Welcome in to Stam Studio Network as well as the Israel iRacing League, ILAKA Esports and Karting YouTube channel. I appreciate the sponsors and affiliates real quick who make this all possible. Got GRIIP as well as Drive and Ride Simulations. Seriously, can't be doing this out here without you, as well as Tal Stern, who's actually racing here tonight. Also, can't forget Ilion there, who does quite a bit of work there behind the scenes for ILAKA. It's not only the drivers who makes this all a show here tonight. I'm producing, commentating, directing it. Once again, Tal and Ilion, everybody who makes this possible there behind the scenes. Real quick, before we get to some green flag running, we are on board there. That is the live driver cam of one of the league owners himself. Remember, Tal's going to start P3 here. He's in that Mercedes red and black GT3. Car number 11, we'll have to see where Tal Stern ends up, as we're going to get just one turn away from green flag racing here tonight from Spa. Alrighty, Rodem Lev, we have waited another 2 weeks for it. Here we go. Ido Tal will be in that second row, as well as Tal Stern. Here we go. We are live and running from Spa. It looks like we're going to get a little bit of a... We're still weaving our tires here. We might get a bit of a warm-up lap here on the GT3 tires. It looks like there's no way with as slow as we're running. Matter of fact, some too wide here if we do get up to speed. Here we go. Now we're up to speed. It'll be Tal Stern. He's going to try that inside line through Rouge. We'll hop on board with Tal. It's going to get tight with too wide. Smartly backs out of it here, as he's got Benny Sork as well as Yaron Levi there fighting for 5th and 6th. Apologies there. I don't know what's happened. That was a little bit later on that race restart zone. Speaking of race restart zone, it'll be Rodem Lev, Ido Tal battling for this race lead. That Ford Mustang is going to be Rodem Lev down and around that inside once again. Door quarter clear. Rodem back out to the lead. We're going to start to look single file here. Oh, until we're not. Ofer is going to make contact there with Guy Biddy. Guy is going to go around there. You see the gravel accumulating on the racetrack there. Matter of fact, Rooster tailing out the end of this Ford Mustang. Next time that these leaders run through that section of the track, be sure you keep your eye on that, because gravel as well as grass, it accumulates to ice, what feels like here in the iRacing universe. Real quick, I appreciate every single one of you joining in here tonight. We're going to have Rodem Lev. He's going to take away that race lead, or matter of fact, keep up with that race lead as he put it on the pole. What a save there for Benny Sork. He's going to go up and off of the 3D rendered rumble strips there. iRacing's got laser scan tracks, laser scans cars. Benny has to make a laser scan save there, as that number 4 machine was almost down and around. Real quick, before we get a little too deep into this race, we're going to have Guy, who goes around earlier on in this race. We have a replay of it here. That's going to be the Porsche number 8. I don't think he's going to have contact. No, just tries to run a little bit more dirtier air that time by. Guy's going to go around. Fortunately for him, he makes no contact, but unfortunately for him, he's going to lose at least a spot there. He's going to keep it spinning around. Backing up to the race lead here. Rodimlev I was going to say continuing to run away with it, but not quite here. Continuing to keep that gap just about steady is Ito Tao right there behind him. Remember, Rodimlev coming in with that sweep just 2 weeks ago from Brands Hatch. We're going to start to heat up this battle for the overall race lead. Don't count out Liron just yet. Take a look at that Porsche number 34 driver, and just 1.4 seconds back, of course, is Tal Stern. How about Benny Sorek? Yana Levi starting to go at it here for that battle for the P5 spot. Up and through a ruse. This might get tight. Hop on board with Yet on here, and there you see that driver, cool, calm, and collected. He's got that tinted visor. He's going to go to work down here. Little chicane action, and what will transpire back into a downhill right-hander. Benny Sorek Yet on continuing to battle this out for this 5th spot in our Silver Series first race here tonight. Ooh, take a look at the dive bomb there. Doesn't quite have it there for Yadon. He'll have to kind of regroup and rearm here as Benny Sorek tries to run away. Right now, our biggest movers of this race are all tied here between Liron, Benny, as well as Guy, as well as Minnie Lance. As we check back on with Minnie, he started this race, remember, in the pits. Safest place to start in one of these Silver Series races, as he works his way already up 1 spot up to P11. Speaking of Mr. Land here, we're going to hop on board with him because this was another incident that happened. I believe this was lap 1 of the race. iRacing has a newer tire model within this GT3 series. Quite a few of the leagues that I have broadcasted for, lots of drivers having trouble with these cooler tire temps as well as cooler tire pressures there. That's why we saw, I think, on that the opening start to the race, quite a few drivers starting to weave back and forth ever so aggressively. You want to try and get these pressures as well as temperatures cooked into these Michelin racing tires earlier on in the race, as early as you can. And unfortunately, it didn't look like that happened there for Minnie Land. He will start there P12. He will get back to P11, back up to our race lead. Rodimlev continuing to hold that gap ever so steadily. Looking at that 7/10, about 8/10 of a second gap there back to Ito Tao. Gonna make our way through a rouge here once again. And once again, I don't know how the F1 EA racing games, I mean, you are classifying Spa here as an easy track. I guess compared to some other ones on the schedule, it might be a little bit tough. Or excuse me, easier compared to the ones on the schedule. But I don't know, man. You got me pretty messed up calling Spa easy. As once again, this battle here for the P5 spot, it's not gone anywhere. Benny Sorek and Yaron Levi continuing to heat up and broil right now. This is the 303 Ferrari GT3 versus that McLaren. This is Yaron. We're hopped on board here with now. He tries to get ever so closer. It's going to get harder for this car to turn as he gets a little bit closer to that rear diffuser of the McLaren up there in front. We'll hop on board with Benny here. Ted, we see you down there live in the Stam Studio Network YouTube chats. Let me know if audio levels are A-OK, and we will keep things moving and grooving. We have 4 different races here tonight, Ted, so you better have your coffee ready here because we're going to have this first sort of heat race, you could call it, for the Silver Series, and then that feature race for the Silver Series. No top 10 inversion, but stick around, same broadcast, same stream, right after the second race here in Silver Series. Gold will show us all how it's done, as well as that top 10 inversion. Once again, look at this battle steer here. As Gravel continues to rooster tail out of the back end of Benny Sorek's machine. This battle really hasn't left us since that start of the green flag. Another battle starting to heat up here just a little bit. We're going to hop on board at the virtual cam with Tal Stern, as well as, you best believe, the real-life driver cam there on the left side. Look at that triple monitor setup. Has the, what do you call the whatever they're called there, to take away where the monitors meet up, so you don't have to deal with those big black lines going down vertically down the screens. It makes this immersion ever so immersive here tonight, as well as throughout this season in IIL. We see Tal, he's focused. I don't think I've seen him blink maybe once, maybe twice as he works his way back and through a rouge here. Once again, continuing to close down on that gap to Liron there up in front. That is the final driver interview sponsor, what would be in our second series. Alrighty, battles, they're starting to get close here. Rodem Lev, he's still just about that same gap back to Ido Tal for P2, but here we see once again Tal's turn ever so slightly. It's visual at this point. Matter of fact, as I'll bring up the lap time history, it's going to look like a well, it's orange and green there, so it's a little bit of back and forth, cat and mouse. There you go, action happening here as we take a look. Yep, there's that comparison there between Liron as well as Tal. Tal was faster lap 2 and lap 3, but if we look at Tal's lap times compared to Benny there behind him, matter of fact, Tal continues to run away. Get on Levi, he's still within striking distance. I wouldn't count him out of this battle here just yet. And remember, this driver has had quite the opening series race here 2 weeks ago at Brands Hatch, and we're continuing to see the pace here for the 303 machine. Unfortunately, he will lose one spot since the drop of the green flag, but he's trying to gain that one spot back. Checking on with Mr. Land here once again, driver of the 77. He's in that Ferrari here this weekend, this week. If you're just now joining us, unfortunately, did have to start in the pits due to a penalty given from that Brands Hatch race. But, I mean, how about it? He's already plus 2 spots gained, and as a matter of fact, he's slightly, very, very slightly closing that gap into Aaron there in the Corvette GT3 shown in P9 up there, one spot up in front of him. This might get good here, not necessarily between these two drivers within this first race, but I don't think many will have to start in the pits for our feature race in the Silver Series. So he's going to have something to prove here for us tonight from Spa as we'll work our way back up to the race lead. Here you see, this is another Ford Mustang, and if you're an avid viewer here on Stam Studio Network, we kind of have started to see this within this newer series of the iRacing universe here. I don't know what it is about it, but the Ford Mustang, it has some short run speed compared to every other GT3 running car. I do say short run speed though, because we once again start to see Ido Tal. He's still just even gaps here, about 7.5. Holy, what a save there for Tal Stern. Caught that out of the corner of my eye, but we're going to have to start to see if that Ford Mustang has enough long run pace to keep this run up in front of Ido Tal for the race lead. These two front runners back and where they started here tonight from a Spa. As a matter of fact, our front two runners, the front 3 and 4th runner, this battle continuing to heat up. Broil between Liron as well as Tal. Appreciate you letting me know that, Ted, down there live in YouTube land. I'll get you just a little bit of more car noise. That should do it there. Let me know if it's too much, and I'll settle it right back down. But speaking of settle it back down here, Rodem, he's going to settle the gap out to what was just about 0.7 of a second, that Ford Mustang. Remember, we were just looking at him. He will unfortunately drop down to 1.1 seconds. Gain 1.1 seconds over Ido Tal. It's unfortunate for Ido, but fortunate for Rodem as we continue to crest our way just about halfway through this race. Speaking of all audio levels, I appreciate every single one of you joining in here once again. I'm going to treat you guys and gals to the sights and sounds here tonight from Spa. Go ahead and crank it up real quick. I'll be right back with you up here in the commentator booth. pretty good. Slowly crank this puppy back down before I get too excited here, because Levi versus Sorek here, this battle has given us a battle for the ages. Only just 13 and a half minutes down out of this first 20-minute heat. Now here comes Sorek, excuse me, that's going to be Levi. He's going to try the outside line down into the chicane. It'll be the offensive into the switchback defensive line there, and that's exactly how you have to make a pass happen here from Spa. That was textbook from Yadan as he'll work his way up to P5. Benny unfortunately will lose that spot, fall back to P6 where this driver started this race, but I wouldn't count him out here just yet. And real quick, speaking of not counting out anybody, this is a quick replay, a student driver for Ofer Mazuz, at least student driver paint scheme, the 422 Mercedes AMG. This is another really nice battle that was starting to ensue. Ofer's going to get tagged from that Ford Mustang. Guy Biddy will tag him and not give the spot back. I'm curious, actually, if we hop on board here with Guy. He's going to try that inside. Oh, I don't know if... Okay, I'm going to keep my job up here in the booth. Call that on who you will there, but that just it gets so tight coming into any sort of chicane, especially that the last turns 20 and 21 here from Spa. It's just asking for a little bit of crossover action there. Not quite clear, I thought. But speaking of not quite clear, well, Tal did make that move over Liron as we were just making a quick look at that replay. We'll take a look at how Tal just made this pass. So this is going back down the hill there from Spawn. There was a little bit of contact that did ensue, but if there's anybody here tonight that definitely has the racecraft as well as the speed here tonight to make a race move like that, come on, Tao, that was a nice move. Also a textbook pass for Mr. Stern. A little bit of contact here, but once again, we have seen the racecraft here from every single one of these drivers within the Israel iRacing League, ILAKA Esports, Automotive and Karting Association. It's not without a doubt that we will get some more side-by-side action. We might even look 3 wide, call it here, with this battle that is starting to heat up. Mini has gained 3 spots now after starting from the pit lane. Iran as well as Guy Baxter-Radian, he will drop back to P11 where he started this race. That qualifying effort was not what he was looking for in that Porsche number 8 911, but he's trying to make the outside line work, maybe try to get just a little bit of cleaner air on the front of that Porsche. He's reeling in that Chevrolet Corvette of Aaron Frankel up out there in front. Both gray paint jobs, excuse me, one's gray, one's a little bit more green. Iran back up there in P10. It's, oh, the Sean and Tater's curse is going to strike. We'll hop on board with him there, but we pretty much saw it. It's you just try to ask a little bit too much of these GT3s, a little bit too much in the race, and look at the steering inputs here going into the chicane. Tries to get on the gas there just a little bit too quick. Luckily there for Guy, he'll miss a spinning Aaron as he'll go around. Guy up to P10, Aaron losing a spot. Ooh, this was that battle for the P5 spot. Benny just gone off the track as he was trying to once again reel in Yaron Levi there in the 303 Ferrari GT3. He goes off the track very wide. He's going to rooster tail some gravel there, just 2 turns to go. And, well, going wide is going to result in a loss of 1.4 seconds. Back into this battle for what would be the final driver interview spot next race in the Silver Series. Tal Stern, you see a little bit of flicker on that brake lights. He's just trying to get that Mercedes AMG to rotate as he tries to run away from Liron, continuing to try to run away after he made this pass. With lap times looking in the 2-minute 17-second range, we should be coming to the white flag lap this time by. Speaking of white flag, we saw these battles start to heat up earlier on in the race between Rodham as well as Ido Tal. But as Rodham's going to make his way through this turns 20 and 21 chicane, we will have to take a look at the right side, see if there's a white flag. I didn't see Barney waving one, but if my math is mathing, we should be coming to this white flag lap here in the Silver Series 4, our heat race, and then of course the feature race coming up right after this, also in the Silver Series. No top 10 inversion, but there might be a top 3 switch in spots here between Mr. Stern and Leron here. Within striking distance, there's enough straightaway here from Spa as well as through Aruz here. Oh, a slight lift of the gas here as he's running right there behind our league owner. Doesn't want that rear end to kind of loop around on him there for Leron. That number 34, once again within striking distance of Tal Stern, that top 3 spot. This is not only great racing, but it's big within the points here. I know we're only 2 races in, but these points so close. Matter of fact, Gold Series tied 2nd and 3rd. Silver Series, it's extremely close. Matter of fact, top 5 runners within the points. Rodham continuing to run away from Ito Tal up there, P2. We'll hop on board with Leron here as he's going to continue to reel in at Tal. He's going to be right within that rear diffuser. Tal is making some World Cup-esque defense right now out of that number 11 Mercedes AMG. We're going to work our way about half the track to go here. Should be our white flag lap. Oh, Guy Biddy has just gone around. Number 12 there, Ford Mustang driver there out of Spain. We'll take a quick replay of it after the checkered flag flies here, because this battle is starting to heat up, starting to boil between these two, as our leader, Rodham Lev, has just about 3-4 turns to go until this should be all official for our Race 1 Silver Series tonight from Belgium. Rodham, he's going to show that he has the pace, 1.6 second gap over Ito. But I wouldn't count Mr. Ito or as well as Tal Stern now. I know Tal Stern's at 5-second gap. 5 seconds back right now in 4P3, but he's back up to where he started and qualified this race. Leron right there back with him where he's qualified this race as well. That gap is shrinking just a little bit for Rodham Lev and Ito Tal, but it will be Rodham Lev who's going to take heat race number 1. Congratulations to Rodham, Ito, as well as Tal, our front 3 runners. Leron not able to make that final pass. Yadon Levi is able to work his way back up to P5 in heat race number 1. Benny Sorek, Guy Biddy, Ofer Mazuz, Mini Land, Guy Begstadidian, as well as Iran Frankel, Gabriel Fuchs will be that 12th spot. Drivers have to just make their way across the start-finish line here and make it all official there. We saw Ofer, he got a little tag there, got a little help there for a spin earlier on in the race. Real quick, I know I promised you of it. Here's the real quick replay of Guy's spin. We kind of caught it late here in our live coverage, but this should be coming. This was on our white flag lap, so I don't think Guy lost any spots here with the spin. He's going to go for a play in the beach sand. He's going to say, all right, that's enough play time. I'm going to get right back on the racetrack. Going to finish P7 up 3 spots where he started this race. Remember, where you finish this race is where you start this feature race for our Silver Series. Stick around, hang around, grab yourself a drink, a snack as well, because you're not going to want to miss out on Gold Series that transpires. Comes up right after this. Welcome in here once again, Stam Studio Network, as well as the IIL, Israel iRacing League YouTube channel. This is, that was a pretty wild first heat race here, and now that these drivers are a little bit more accustomed and they are more mentally prepared for what's about to happen here. This race restart is going to be pretty wild to watch, especially keep your eye on Rodham Lev as well as Ito Tal in that first row. Once again, if you're just now joining us, we're live tonight from Belgium. Got Spa here. This is the combined layouts here, 6.9 kilometer circuit. Our temperature in the 27-degree Celsius range, 463 meters of altitude. There's really, I don't think there's any point to show the starting grid here, because if you're just paying attention there, if where you were finished is where you're going to start this race, and Well, I guess okay, I'll be nice. Okay, come on, I got you. I'll start the starting grid. It's going to be Rodemlev, Ito, Tal up there in the front row. Tal, Stern, and Liron. Remember, this is right where they started. I believe the front runners, 1st through 6th, is where they finished and started. Excuse me, started heat race number 1 as well as finished. So no movement within those front runners. Except for Guy. He'll start up there in P7 out of Spain. How about Ofer Mazuz Mini Land? Guy bakes it in. He'll start up there in that 10th starting position. Iran Frankel, Gabriel Fuchs rounding out that 12th. All right, let me know who your race pick is to win this. Is it going to be Mr. Tal or actually Ito Tal, or will it be Rodemlev, who's going to, remember, he swept this Silver Series 2 weeks ago from Brands Hatch. Does Rodemlev have a quadruple sweep in him? We might have to start calling Rodemlev SVG with the pace that he has. Welcome in here once again to Spa-Francorchamps. That's as close as I'm going to get to some language there. If you're newer here within SSN, my name's Sean Stam. I'm not too good with names and pronunciations, but if you don't know me, I will definitely try my best. Alrighty, here we go. It's a little bit later race restarts here. That's why you see still some drivers starting to weave and jive there into turn number 1. Here we go. Lights are flashing. We're going to it's an orange flag zone here is what it is here into the turn 1. We're making sure nobody's going to wreck. There is no incidents within that tight section of turn 1. Here we go. Up and through the gears. Green flag racing. Silver Series race number 2. It's going to be Rodemlev, Ito Tal, Tal Stern up and through Ed Rouge. We'll look single file for the moment here. Here's some more double file. That Ford Mustang, Guy Mighty. He's going to look down that outside line when we'll be into turns 4 and 5. Here comes some more double file action here. Rodemlev, that Ford Mustang will take the lead up into turn 1. Here's some side by side there for Tal Stern, Benny Sorek. Oh, the Ford Mustang Guy who'll run a little wide. You better run, you better hide here if you are Rodemlev here, because Ito Tal has gone to work here earlier on in that heat race number 1. He's going to try to make some action happen here quick, but you got to be careful on these cooler tire temperatures, these cooler tire pressures here from Spa. Liron, Benny Sorek, Yaron Levi. This is the battle for 4th, 5th, and 6th here out on track. We saw it transpire. Oh no, Yaron Levi is going to go hard into that outside retaining barrier. He'll have to tow it into the pits. I was just starting to talk about how this battle would really be a fun one to watch, but unfortunate for Yaron as he'll take it back and into pit lane. Benny Sorek up to P4. Liron unfortunately loses a spot on this race restart of the feature race in the Silver Series. He'll drop back to P5. Guy will gain a spot. Mini will gain 2. Take a look real quick and see what happened to Mr. Levi as he was having a really nice heat race number 1 going for him. This should be, oh, the bump is going to get him. That diffuser makes contact with the rumble strip on the exit. That'll send him into not even the tire barrier, but that outside retaining wall, and that's just how kind of glued to the racetrack that these GT3s are. You have to get just that down and dirty onto your ride height limits here as we'll hop on board with them. Yep, that's all it took. As soon as that carbon fiber rear diffuser made contact with the racetrack, it sent him right out and around into that outside retaining barrier. He'll have to tow it into the pits as we'll get back into the battle for the race lead. Rodemlev, he's looking for a quadruple sweep within the Silver Series. Ito Tal already, unfortunately, is going to fall back 1 second back. He's got Tal Stern and Benny Sorek, Liron Shooter up there in that top 5. Liron doing something a little bit special here. I think he's really taking care of his equipment. We have seen him, he's unfortunately lose that spot there to Benny for the P4 spot. But if we take a look at the left side of your screen here, take a look at the hands here. He's not putting too much wheel input into the car necessarily. He's being very vigilant on the downshifts. And if I take a moment to be quiet here, smooth smooth as butter on the brake and accelerator pedals. I would count Liron here out of a top possible 4 or 3 finishing spots. Speaking of somebody who I told us to keep an eye on this race restart, of course, it's going to be one of the league owners here, Mr. Tal Stern. Oh no, his live driver cam there might be on my end, but it is frozen, but his racecraft is not frozen here tonight. Tal continuing to run away with that P3 spot over Mr. Benny Sorek, Liron, Guy, Bitty, Miniland, Guy Bextadinian, Iran Frankel, Gabriel Fuchs, Yadan Levi, Ofer Mazuz running on our 12-driver grid here tonight from the Silver Series. That's going to be Miniland, who runs extremely wide. We saw some gravel up on the racetrack there. I mentioned it earlier in heat race number 1. If you see a little bit of gravel or if you run wide in the iRacing universe, that is equivalent to ice on the tires of these machines. There you see a Mini. He was trying to get that P6 spot away there from Guy, but he'll lose just about a second in that whole ordeal. He's in a Guy sandwich right here as he's got another guy right there behind him. That'll be Guy Bextadinian right there behind in that 8th position, up 2 spots at the drop of the green flag. Let's hop on board here with Guy as he continues to reel in Mr. Miniland. So this is that tight kind of hairpin turn number 1, and then we'll work our way through the really fastest section of the track here, down and back up the hill through Rouge. This is, I think you start to definitely do work with enough speed here that the slipstream and draft does start to become prevalent here, at least within this section of Spa. But there you see it. I don't think Guy's just close enough. He's right out of that slipstream range, 0.8 seconds back. Here's another battle starting to heat up, broil ensue here in the Silver Series. Benny Sorek, matter of fact, yeah, okay, Benny Sorek, he made the pass over Yaron earlier in the race as Yaron had that incident. But right now, Benny, he's starting to have to play some World Cup-esque soccer-style defense over Liron for this 4th running spot. And just in front of these drivers is that final driver interview spot in the Silver Series. We take a look at Tal Stern's lap time differential here. There you see it, Stern versus Sorek. It's Tal's, he's continuing to run away with it, but if we take a little bit of a magnifying glass approach here, take a look at the sector differentials. I think that Benny Sorek as well as Liron, if they can settle their sort of battle out there within themselves, that they sort of start to team up here, so to speak, within the GT3 class. Well, as now as Benny made that move over Liron, Tal will now possibly have that room to work with. As I was setting that up to go one way, I'll pull the 180 and I'll switch it back around because Tal is showing some really nice pace here tonight. Possibly is going to hopefully finish in this final driver interview spot, and we'll have to interview this driver after the race as well as Ido Tal, Rodom Lev, 2nd and 1st. Here's another really nice battle here between, Guy, it's going to run wide. It was a battle there between, I believe that was Mini Lance. Once again, Mini will drop back, unfortunately, to P9 right now, back to where this driver started the race. Pit road action here. Okay, take a look at the top left of your screen. I'm going to do something a little special here, at least try to. If we take a look at the incident count, okay, I thought that's what this was about to be, is maybe an incident limit drive-through penalty here for Guy, but he's only shown it 1 incident limit, and if you're newer within the iRacing universe, well, it is a drive-through penalty as well as mini land, so there could possibly be some race control action happening here tonight. That's very interesting, because the only times that I have seen some race control incidents is when maybe the incident count starts to arise. But once again, if you're newer within the iRacing universe, if you have contact with another car, most of the time, more often than not, that will result in a 4X. If you have loss of control, say you have a spin of yourself, that'll result in a 2X penalty, and off-track penalties resulting in 1X. I have seen some leagues that have car incidents penalties within sort of check. So if you gain too many, you do have sort of a penalty that you have to deal with here. But Guy and Minnie both still within pit lane. I'm talking about penalties here. I think the pit road is just so whack that I thought it was a drive-through penalty. Now these drivers are backing out off of pit road. Minnie land, there he goes back up to P9. Guy still into the pits for P10. Ooh, a little bit of a front aerodynamic damage there for Liron. That's probably why he's lacking there, just a little bit of top end speed there in that Porsche number 34 machine. Vinny Sorek, he's got that P4 spot solidified here for the moment as Liron tries to make a move. There it is. That's going to be the outside. It'll transpire back into the inside. Oh, a crossover move into the chicane there. Vinny and Liron still going at it there. Schuster not having what it takes to take away P4. Tal Stern is starting to run away with P3. Speaking of runaway or lack of it here, here's the battle for the overall race lead. That's GT3 Ford Mustang 404 Rodem Lev. Ito Tal going up against him for that battle of the race lead. He is now within slipstream distance is Ito Tal. That number 1 McLaren GT3 will hop on board with him. As take a look at just a little ever so closer here within the same camera shots. He's already gained a 10th. Apologies for that quick blink out there for Ito Tal. We're all running different servers, or excuse me, I'm running on the different iRacing server here tonight. You know, all these drivers on the other side of the world are all going at it here from the virtual, the one, the only Spa, live here from virtual Belgium. That's our virtual battle for the race lead. I don't know how many times I could fit it in one sentence there. It's starting to heat up here between Lev and Tal. Tal's possibly saved just these GT3 newer tires here within iRacing Universe. It's kind of a newer patch that they released within the latest season here, and I believe I have seen myself as well as some other leagues I do broadcast for. Once again, I talked about it in heat race number 1 within Silver Series. We see the pace, race in, race out of the Ford Mustangs, but it's very short run pace, and we've seen the long run speed start to show here for Ito Tal. He's going to be within striking distance here within our little short shoot, our little wavy section of a back straightaway here. It'll make our way into the uphill section here. It'll be a left-hander. Ito Tal is a shark that smells blood in the water at the moment right here. Knocking on that rear diffuser of that Ford Mustang. He's going to try the outside line to switch back into the chicane here. Battle for the race lead in Silver Series. Here we go. Rodem Lev, Ito Tal coming just 9 minutes to go left in the race. Ito Tal doesn't have the exit there. He has to compromise, getting back onto the gas. He'll try the outside line once again here against Rodem Lev. He's going to try the opening and the closing of turn 1 and 2. Ito Tal, unfortunately, will retain that P2 spot as these two drivers start to heat up their battle for the race lead. How about Tal Stern? It's also a shark that smells blood in the water right now, that Mercedes AMG. Does Tal have what it takes to visit victory lane here tonight? Goodness, battles for the lead as well as 4th and 5th. Here we go once again. This will be side by side. Ito Tal, Rodem Lev. This will be Rodem who takes the inside line this time. That'll be a slowdown for Ito Tal. 4 tires off the racing surface. It happens just that quick. Here we go. A look at the replay here between these two heading into the more technical portion of the racetrack. It was side by side. Unfortunately, it'll transpire back into single file. There was a little bit of netcode, a little bit of contact there. Ito Tal, 4 tires off the racetrack. That's at least a 1.5 to 2 second time penalty there. I do believe this will jump back on board for this battle for the race lead. It's only 0.4 of a second separating these two. Either Ito has not taken his time penalty yet, he's got it clear from race control, or he just continues to dig looking for this race lead. Rodem Lev trying to rewrite the iRacing history books here within the Israel iRacing League, ILAKA Esports Automotive and Karting Association. Lev looking for the quadruple sweep, but he doesn't have this really done quite just yet as Ito Tao, once again, he's starting to size him back up, back within 2/10 of a second. Ito Tao is not going to look within the inside here just yet. We might try it within the chicane once again. We just saw it. These drivers got side by side. Ito Tao, he has to compromise the exit here. He's going to open it up though. Look at the run that Ito Tao is going to get off and onto the start-finish stretch and back and through Rouge. Closes the gap ever so slightly, back down to 5/6 of a second. It's going to drop down to 7 there through the tight hairpin in turn 1. If you're looking to make a gap here right now, Lev is where you are starting to put this all together here. Sparks flying out of that rear diffuser. All of these drivers' cars are glued to the racetrack here tonight. And remember, that's huge here. We saw within Yaron Levi, if you're just now joining us, if these diffusers are a little bit too glued to the racing surface, it will send you down and around if your diffuser makes contact with one of those rumble strips. We saw it send Yaron Levi around from P5. This is the battle for the lead continuing to heat up between Lev and Tao. Lap time differential here. It was faster for Ito Tao. Lap 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then we start to see the pedal to the metal there go for Lev. But remember, that slight mistake happened there just one lap ago. So you have to believe that Ito Tao is the faster driver on the racetrack right now. Coming to 5 laps to go. I think the sector differential will tell the bigger story at the moment. Sector 1, faster, give it to Ito Tao. Sector 2, faster, give it to Lev. But it's just by 0.07 seconds of a second. That is a little bit shorter than 1/10 of a second separating our lead runners there for Sector 1 and 2. Tao Stern is ever so slightly continuing to close this gap, and the race leader starting to run away with it once again through Sector 3. Oh boy, Gold Series drivers, if you're watching here, right now, better hope that you get the brakes, tire temperatures, tire pressures all up to operating conditions here relatively quickly, because we have seen that take 1 or 2 drivers out of our Silver Series. Not only heat race number 1, but our feature race. It's something to definitely keep an eye on here, as well as it seems the closer that you start to get within that driver up there in front of you, dirty air is a thing within this GT3 class. That car will start to handle just a little tighter than you would expect. I know, what am I doing here? Telling gold drivers here to drive. Goodness, they will show us all out how it is done just in about 6-7 minutes time here. Same broadcast right after this race. Tao Stern continues to sit P3 where he started this race. Liran Schuster, as well as Benny Sodik, Guy Biddy, Adon Frankel, Gabriel Fuchs, as well as Minnie Land, rounding out that what would be 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th. Gabriel Fuchs here, still setting P8 there. Driver of the number 7. That's a car I like to see out here on track. That's Chevrolet Corvette GT3. It's a tough one to drive here. I believe mid-engine machine in the GT3 class there. You see the rear end will get a little bit loose there for Gabriel, but he's keeping it all going. Matter of fact, Gabriel, even though he's sitting P8, he started last place in this feature for our Silver Series. You got to shout that out. That's pretty special for Gabriel. He'll work his way up 4 spots. So will Aaron Frankel here tonight, also up 4 spots in a Chevrolet Corvette as well. He's going to work up to P7. Once again, it was some cat and mouse here earlier on in the race for our front runners. It took there just a little wide there for Ito Tao just a couple laps ago, and that slight time penalty. He was gaining on our race leader in that Ford Mustang, as those tires, I think, are continuing to fall off for Lev. We'll have to ask him in the Silver Series interview if he ever so chooses to stick around for it. Ito Tao, the gap has now been just about even, so he had a little bit of a shot to work with there, a little bit of a net code incident turn into, what you would call contact there, and unfortunately sent Ito Tal just a little bit wide. I believe I have the replay of it here, so we'll take one more look at it, and it really doesn't take much here in these GT3s. And you got to remember, I am on the complete other side of the world here within where these drivers are racing from there. It's, yep, if we back it up here once again and slow this down, I don't think that was contact. It's net code. That means it's the internet connection between these two drivers that essentially is what just sent them around there. Yeah, there's definitely racetrack and air between those two. Speaking of racetrack and air between these two, we should be coming to the... It'll be close, but if my math is mathing, we should be coming to the white flag, at least, here tonight for Mr. Rodemlev. It's been so close here, or it was so close earlier on, that 1.2 second gap now separating Rodemlev and Ito Tal. Looks like, who do we have here? Gabriel Fuchs will make their way down and around the start-finish line. We are on our white flag lap here. I saw Barney waving that white flag loud and proud up in the top left corner. So this is going to be Rodem, who just has to make their way back around about 18, 17 turns now. It's no easy task, though, as you have yourself with 2,000 road course I rating trying to hold off Ito Tal with 1,600 road course I rating. How about Tal Stern? We can't count him out, although this is the white flag lap. Tal is working with 3,000 road course I rating there. That is a tongue twister in of itself. 2.5 seconds back over Ito Tal. This is our front runners in the Silver Series, what should be our final driver interview spots, P2, and that second final driver interview spot. And of course, Rodemlev, if he's able to make it all happen here tonight with just a couple more turns to go here tonight from Spa, we'll be able to talk with this driver and ask him how he made this all happen within this Ford Mustang. Here we go, just a couple more turns to go. This is our closest battle on track at the moment. It is between Mr. Rodemlev and Ito Tal. 1.5 seconds separating these two as we'll make our way through the final chicane here tonight for the Silver Series. I don't think that's going to be close enough for Ito Tal. Rodemlev rewriting the iRacing history books. He will come away with the quadruple sweep. 2 weeks ago, he swept Brands Hatch. He'll sweep Circuit D Spa this week here today. Holy God dang. AMR safety team, get down here ASAP. Ito Tal will go Mach 2 into the inside tire barriers there in turn 1. Tal Stern, congrats P3. Liron Schuster, Benny Sorek, Guy Biddy, Iran Frankel, Gabriel Fuchs. Mini Land, Guy Bextadidian, Yaron Levi, Ofer Mazuz, rounding out our 12-driver grid. You might be asking, or you might be going, oh, it sounds like he's rushing. He's trying to get out of here. Well, I am. I have to make my way over to the Gold Series session, so I'll be right back with you with some live driver interviews. Hopefully those top 3 silver drivers of the feature race choose to stick around. My name's Sean Stam. Thanks for joining in IIL Stam Studio Network. I'll be right back with you. Stick around for Gold Series. Same broadcast, by the way. Do not go anywhere. Stick right back with us. Alrighty, welcome back here to Stam Studio Network and the Israel iRacing League YouTube channel, ILAKA Esports, Automotive, and Karting. Appreciate everybody that just tuned in for that Silver Series race. That was a lot of fun to watch. We got Rodem Lev and well, matter of fact, all top 3 finishers here and our podium finishers. Real quick, our top 3 driver interviews for Silver Series. Rodem, you got a copy.
Yep, it was a very fun race. I enjoyed myself a lot. Idotal gave me a lot of hard work on the second one. He's very fast, but it was a clean and good race, and I enjoyed myself immensely.
Gosh, that's I'm glad you bring that up there in the second race, because I was going to mention, I mean, you were so close to reeling him in there, and we saw just a tiny little bit of net code. I don't even think it was contact between you, but you ran a little bit wide. Did you have a little bit of a time penalty to give up there, or was it just an off track? Or
No, I actually didn't have any off tracks
really?
at all. Maybe Dotal had an off track. This is Rotem.
Oh, that's right. Okay, so I had that swapped there, but okay, no, you're right. You kept it on the track there after a slight little netcode incident there. Real quick, I appreciate you taking the time to join us for a driver interview. I mean, who would you like to shout out to makes this all possible for you here tonight?
Tal and all the people in the Israeli organization, all of them in the Motorsport Association. I don't know the name of it in English, but Tal will say it later. But they're all very, very cool. And Yuval Marika would actually very much like to say thank, because he's like the nicest young man. And like the only reason I'm a little bit fast is because he put a little bit time and effort into making me faster. So I would like to thank him as well. That's it.
Well, thank you so much, Rodem. Real quick before we let you go, were you down there for the when you all got together for the trophy presentation and karting?
Yep. It was a great day. It was awesome. We took pictures. Loved it. Again, the association, like I said, I can't thank them enough. But mostly Tal does the hard work.
Who, before we let you get going there, Rodem, who was fastest out there in the karting?
I can't remember. I think it was between draw last, and I think draw last was very quick, and Itzik was the fastest. I think I'm not 100% sure, but Tal will remember. I think it was Itzik and draw last, the 2 quickest.
Well, thank you so much,
But
Rodem.
again, it was rent-a-cart, so it's hard to say.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Rodem. Have a great rest of your night, and congratulations on the quadruple sweep.
Thank you very much. Have a great one.
Hey, you do the same. That being said, real quick before Gold Series starts off, we got 2 more interviews. Ido Tal as well as Tal Stern. Ido, you got yourself a copy.
Yeah, how are you?
I am great after that heat race 1 as well as feature race. Walk us through it. What was it like there behind the wheel? And man, it got a little bit tight there, coming to about 3-4 laps to go.
Yeah, first of all, Rotem didn't give me a easy job to do, and this track specifically is very hard to drive after a driver, because a lot of dirty air that affects the car, and you get a lot of understeer. Then in the middle of the race, the front is getting hitter and hitter, so it's hard race, but I enjoy it, and I enjoy the position that I got.
Well, I'm glad that you bring that up, Ido, because I tried to make that known to our viewers here. Like, it's so hard, especially, the faster corners here, but at Spa. You have that dirty air to deal with. iRacing simulating just about everything you can imagine. What does it feel like, the best you can describe, like there as you're trying to close in here for the race win, and then your car just out of nowhere continues to build tight?
Explain. You have a lot of fast corner, so the dirty air, it's like you're trying to turn and the car is continue straight, get a lot of understeer, and you try to be more and more closest to the car in front, because you want to in the straight to be as close as possible. But then you are lost a lot of time and heat in the front tires because you are in the dirty air, so it's make it so hard.
Well said there. Congratulations on your P2 finish here, Ido. Real quick, before we get to some Gold Series racing, who would you like to shout out who makes this all possible?
The same like Rotem, I want to shout out everyone who's take part of the league. I want to shout out to Tal that works very hard to make it all possible, and amazing. I enjoy it.
All right, thank you so much, and have a great rest of your week here and until 2 weeks' time.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, brother.
Thank you, and with that, we will get to Mr. League Owner, one of them himself, Tal Stern, before this Gold Series pops off. Tal, you got yourself a copy.
Good evening, Sean.
Tal, real quick, thank you so much for everything. Those pictures and videos looks like a blast. I almost flew on over there. No, I'm just kidding. But Tal, that was quite a race to watch here tonight. What was it like from Spa in the Silver Series?
This was very difficult. I want to tell you, Rotem and Ido, it's definitely should be in the Gold Series. They are good drivers, and it was good race.
Gosh, that it was. And real Tal, I'm sorry to cut this interview short because we have Gold Series gridding up real quick. But Tal, real quick, who would you like to shout out? Who makes this all possible for you, man?
First of all, to the drivers that came every evening and drive. Thank you, Sean. You're doing an amazing job. And ILAKA, it's Israel Automobile Karting and Association. And thank you all.
Hey, thank you, Tal. Have a great rest of your evening, and thank you for thanking me. That means a lot to me.
Thank you.
Alrighty, well, with those top 3 drivers of Silver Series down and out of the interviews, thank you all once again for joining in for that. And now we're going to bring you some Gold Series action. Yuval Merrick, Ignacio Glumsher. How about Daniel Badazowski, Alon Gabay, Eli Albag, Rancesoni up in that top 6. I'll get that grid up on your screen now. Oh, great. Okay, I actually have to. I'll be right back here on Sam's. I have to restart something. I'll stay with where you're at. Don't go anywhere. Alrighty, welcome back here into SSN as well as IIL YouTube channels. I appreciate every single one of you joining in as we're just about one turn away from green flag action. Here we go. Here is the restart zone. It's going to be Yuval Merrick, Daniel Badazowski, Ignacio Glumsher, Alon Gabay, Eli Albag out here out up front. As we head our way down and through Eruge here, we're going to single file it out here pretty earlier on. Single file, until Tom Rappaport's going to go around hard into the tire barriers. Unfortunate run here for Tom as we're going to continue to get back in through the pack here as we're going to continue to look side by side. Here's Ido Balstan as well as Yoshi Gabay. This is the battle for 10th. These drivers will look side by side through our turn 1 section. Somehow be able to make it work. Oh, until Yoshi Gabay is able to keep that inside line running. Here's Edon Delitsky as well as Ayeli right there behind him. There's the contact. I was waiting for it. I was waiting for it to ensue. Omri Farah gets involved. He'll drop, unfortunately, to P18. That will be 6 spots lost since the drop of the green flag. Backing up to Yuval Merrick out into the race lead. Starting to single file it out here between Yuval, Daniel Badazowski, as well as Alon Gabay here. As Alon, actually, matter of fact, gained quite a few spots since that drop of the green flag. He already finds his way up to 3rd. Ignacio Glumsher, Eli back to where he started. Rancesoni up to 6th and 7th. Hopping hopping on board here with the driver cams there. That's Rand Sassoni up top of your screen, race leader. Yuval Merrick down there at the bottom of your screen. Triple screens for our race leader. He's needing them here as he continues to put a 5/10 of a second gap over Daniel Bandrowski there for that P2 spot as we're making our way up and through lap 1 and 2 here at Spa. Alrighty, apologies here. I had to get the graphics timing and scoring up because we need to see what is happening. Come on now. Got to give me at least a chance to put this all back together here for the IIL ILAKA Gold Series. Apologies there, but we're going to keep things moving and grooving, not only through the race lead as well as second and third. This is the battle for third for our final driver interview spot. Not in this race, though. This is our first 20-minute sort of setup race. This is our feature race, the top 10 here in Gold Series. These drivers inverted in our second series in 18 minutes time it would be. Ignacio Glumster, Eli Albag. This is another newer name here tonight within this ILAKA Israel iRacing League series. This will be the big sniffer, the BMW M3 machine, back up to where he started. Rand Sassoni right up there behind him. This is a Ferrari GT3. Rand, if you're a longer time fan here with us as in the IIL and Stam Studio Network kind of iRacing leagues, we have seen Rand kind of be the top of, well, the running of the money respectively, but within this GT3 class, as well as each time that we get just a little bit closer or further away than what Rand is used to here, we have started seeing Rand respectfully struggle here as he's working within the dirty air is Rand Sassoni, that number 43 machine. He has had pace time and time previous seasons as well as this season, but right now looking at P6, here's a great time for it. We'll hop on board with our driver cam shots here. Once again, Rand Sassoni up in the top left of your screen, Yuval Merrick in the bottom right, leading this race right now with a 5/10 of a second gap. Rand Sassoni with a 8/10 of a second gap over Eli Albag up there for 5th place. I sincerely appreciate every single one of you joining in here tonight as we are continuing to look just a little bit. Our battles aren't only heating up at this point. Our battles within the ILAKA Esports, automotive and karting, these battles are broiling at this point within the GT3 session. Yeah, I guess you'd call it that here. Sorry for that. Oh no, that's going to be a spin for Asaf. Yarn hard into the tires there. Not an instant repair. Asaf will have to wait until he's able to make his way around this long 7-kilometer track. Asaf here in the 402 machine. He has had pace here this season, but unfortunately he doesn't have anything to show for it here tonight in our feature race of the the Gold Series race here. Yuval Merrick, Daniel Berezowski, as well as Alon Gabay. This is our opening race of the Gold Series. Yuval Merrick, Daniel looking P1, P2. Only 4/10 of a second separating these front two runners as we have some battles starting to ensue down and up the racetrack. Rand Sassoni, as well as Sission Saisi. I think I'm saying that one right. Come on, just correct me if I'm wrong at this point. It's been years at this point. Sassoni and Baba going at it for 6th and 7th. There's another nice battle here between Ido Balstan as well as Matty Rosen. This is a GT3 BMW versus a Porsche 50 versus number 88 going at it here. We'll settle it back down to single file, or will we? Here comes Iran Deliski to join this battle. Now, something I did notice, if you take a look at the left side of your screen here, as we're hopping on board with Mr. Deliski, the steering inputs here, they're minimal, is what you'd call it here. When we were on that live camera board shots with Yuval Merrick, our race leader, he was sawing on that wheel. I'm interested to see if Yuval's front tires have enough life in them to make it front and through this front running race of the Gold Series. If you're just now joining us, the front top 10 runners will be inverted after this opening series race in the Gold Series. And Yuval Merrick, he's continuing to show the pace right now over Daniel, but not running away by any means. Just like what we saw in the Silver Series, that gap is steadily, consistently staying at 0.7 of a second. I think these drivers have that slipstream. They have the draft to work with here tonight from Spa. Really nice battle here is going to be between Eli and Ransasoni. This is going to be through our first chicane section of the track here, as we'll head our way back and through the downhill hairpin section. Ransasoni is going to look down and through on that back bumper of our newer driver here tonight with us, Eli Albag. He works his way back up to where he started this race, P5. So does Ransasoni, P6. Once again, we'll hop on board with Ransasoni, both virtually as well as real life. That left side of your screen, Ran. He is driving that Ferrari GT3 here tonight. He's trying to stay within striking distance of that P5 running driver, Eli, up front. Just 0.5 of a second separating these two as we'll head our way back and down through the hill once again. Ransasoni, there you see it, the concentration on that driver's face. Ooh, has to saw on the wheel, get that Ferrari GT3 backing up underneath him there, as that was a really big save there for Ran. Yuval Merrick, I know we continue to kind of call him out here. Matter of fact, what the Silver Series driver called, he shouted him out here in the live driver interviews for Silver Series. Yuval Merrick, he is not only a friend, he's a very, very, very quick racer out here on track. He will leave it out here all on track though, because he is very consistent. He is clean with his racecraft, and we see it time and time again, not only race, but race week and reset. Race week out. Not only that, but season and season out. No matter what the car is, it seems Yuval has the pace here to show for it. This time it's going to be GT3s this season, and he's going to continue to run away from Daniel Berezowski right there for P2. We'll hop on board with Daniel through a ruse here. What would be a flat-out turn, you might have to blip that gas as you get ever so closer there to that car in front of you. The dirty air going to work here. We heard from, once again, that Silver Series driver as well. Here's another really nice battle starting to ensue here. Dima Benevidenik as well as Henri Farag. Hey, it's a Grossman is right there with him. This is 17, 18, 19 right here on track. A blanket over these three drivers. Little bit of missed action here tonight from Belgium, but as we hop on board our aerial shots, yeah, there you see it. That's 15th, 16th, 17th, and 18th, all in the same camera shot there, and battles continuing to heat up all throughout the racetrack, and there's really, I mean, respectfully, there's not a lot that you can do here if you're back here in 15th, 16th, 17th. Just try to continue to hit clean laps here, not go off track. Hoping that one of these drivers goes off the track in front of you as you continue to put just a little bit more pressure in the rear view mirror of these machines up here in front. Drawer last, I was told, was fastest there in the ILAKA Esports, as well as the IIL, the karting kind of sort of get-together session there. You saw on our stream's starting screen, we saw these drivers all met up. We got some trophies handed out. We saw who was fastest within rental carts. Looks like Drawer Last had the pace there within the rental cart section. He's going to have to play some more World Cup-esque defense over. It's a Grossman there behind Drawer Last. He had a fast cart. He has a pretty fast Mustang here underneath his feet, as he's got Istik Grossman, also a yellow and black Ford Mustang right there behind him. Here comes Dima, also going to join this battle for the 17th spot. This is going to be Ford versus Ferrari. How many times have we seen this throughout history? Ford 16th, and now it'll unfortunately drop back to 8th there for Istik Grossman. Dima will be the Ferrari in this Ford sandwich. Back into the battle for P9 between Ayeli as well as Yossi Gabe. Battle for P9 and P10. These are both big sniffer BMW machines going to work. Real quick, while we have a moment, I'd like to appreciate all the sponsors and affiliates who make this all action happen here tonight. The ILAKA, Israel Automotive and Karting Association, as well as DRS, Drive and Ride Simulations, as well as some great battles happening here tonight. That was some synchronized looks down the outside there for Matty Rosen, as well as Iran Delitsky. They're going to settle it back down to 11th and 12th. I'd like to also thank every single one of you joining us here tonight, as well as if you're in the IIL YouTube or Stam Studio Network. It means a lot to me here, and it's just what keeps me going. If you're ever here in the States, Cotton Bowl Speedway down there in Texas, right outside of Austin, some of the best dirt track racing. Speaking of the States, we have had Alon Day. This is what it was his second, what should have been a win down there in the NASCAR ARCA Menard Series races. He first raced out there at Lime Rock for the ARCA Series. He second place. He was leading, had to drive back up to the field, ended up second, and then ended up at a 3-wide finish down there in Sonoma. Almost had that race win again, but we have seen Alon Day put it to these drivers, as well as some contact. There we go. I'll get right back to that story there, as it looks like Dima is going to go around, get the worst of that incident there. That was looking through turns, I believe, 18, 19, and 20. Number 7 still asking for grip here. He'll play through that beach sand, as here comes Ido Baustan down and around to possibly take away P19. Oh no, Ido's not going anywhere. This is a driver hard that has had some contact. That is a drifting Porsche there. Now would be a great time to look at some of our incidents here earlier on in the race. This was about 2 laps ago. This is Tom Rappaport's incident, and we're going to keep going backwards. A baby blue machine. Holy net code there. Oh, AMR safety team down here through a ruse. He's going to slide up and through that racetrack here. We'll hop on, we'll take an aerial shot there, as that got very, very tight there between Tom Rappaport. Didn't quite catch that other driver number there. Was the dark blue machine there. This has got to be netcode. Take a look at this. Oh, it may be a slight bit of contact. Overcorrection. That rear bumper will pop back out, and then no tires on that inside line as they'll drift back around the racetrack here. Here's a real quick incident and replay look at Asaf Yaren as they're going to look side by side. He's going to try that outside line through a ruse here. Every single incident here tonight has been through a ruse. That's Asaf he'll take a bite out of those inside tire barriers. That looks about all the incidents here to take a replay of. Back and through here, side by side, Matty Rosen, Yossi Kabe. Yossi works his way backing up to P10. P10 is so valuable here tonight because it is the top 10 inversion. P10 will start P1. Yossi Kabe will look a little wide. He will send Matty Rosen into the outside wall. Drivers going elbows out here tonight. Matty Rosen, he's going to take a bite out of that ball, and we'll take a look at a quick replay of it here. We're gonna again go with the aerial camera shots here, because it really shows the story here. As that really, I don't think you can put that on any one of these drivers. We'll back it up and back it up and back it up. Here we go, and take a look at the slow-mo replay. I don't think, you might have to put that on Yossi getting back on the track, just gets a little bit too far over, tags Matty Rosen hard into that left side barrier. Speaking of Yossi Kabe, he's still got that P10 spot solidified here at the moment, as here comes Aaron Delitsky. Not quite side by side, but as this battle, there we go. He's got his note up there through the chicane section. He's going to have to give the spot right back. Something that we have seen time and time again with, I say this respectfully, but it's got to do with racecraft and race skill at this point. The amount of times Yossi is able to finish in this P10 spot within the Gold Series, and once again, that means you start within the pole position of the next race. The amount of times that we've seen Yossi continue to gain points with this race strategy, you really can't count him out here, as I know we're only in our second race of the season. but he continues to kind of show that pace, and although he's fighting right now for what would be the pole position here in heat race number 2 for the Gold Series, Aaron Deliski, he's going to have to start to continue to play some defense over him. We'll hop on board with Iran here. Slowly closing that gap. Speaking of slowly closing that gap, we're going to hop back on board to what would be the second to final driver interview spot in our feature race. Once again, this is only our heat race for Gold Series. 17 minutes down. We're probably looking about 2-3 laps, or it would be 2 laps to go. Daniel, how about it? He's really shown some pace here tonight. He's got Alon Gabe, who Alon Gabe has really shown some very nice racecraft. Not only tonight, but through season in, season out. We've had 2 Alon Days going at it there in earlier seasons. And once again, that's so cool to see Alon Day. I know he's a 4-time Euro NASCAR Series champion. Now that he's come across the pond and starting to show us all how it's done within the Road Series, that is 2 races that have just been within, oh man, inches away from Alon Day in the real-life Arkham Nars NASCAR Series. There you see Barney the Flag Man. He's whipping that white flag out there up in front of him. This is the battle for the P2 spot as we continue to have battles for P2, P6, and P11 and 12 start to heat up. Speaking of 11 and 12, matter of fact, we'll cut to 6th and 7th here through turn 1. That tight, treacherous turn 1. Give it to Sisian Baba. It'll be Ali Albag, who unfortunately will fall back to P7, but he will start what would be 10th, 9th, 8th, 7th. That'll be 4th within our feature race within the Gold Series. Battle for, oh my, shoving him off the racetrack there. It almost did look like there's contact between these 2 front runners for the P2 spot. Daniel and Alon going at it here. Both these drivers up 1 spot gain since the drop of the original race start here tonight for the Gold Series. Daniel is having to play some defense there over Alon Gabe for that 2nd spot. This is very important for the points as they continue to heat up. Only 2nd race within our Gold Series. We're going to come towards the checkered flag here. About a little less than half the track to go. How about this? I mean, you see the offense going to work here for Alon. He tries the outside. He fakes it back down the inside. Matter of fact, he's going to try the inside line once again. Here we go. It's final time here tonight. Contact for the P2 spot. Alon Gabe sends Daniel into the beach. It'll be Ignacio Glumscher backing around to P3. Ignacio Glumscher out of nowhere. Alon Gabe will take that P2 spots here for the moment. Yuval Merrick. We have seen this driver with some immaculate pace here. He will come around and what will be the final time here tonight. Yuval Merrick, the 2nd race season here tonight from the GT3 running class. Yuval just has a couple more turns to go to make this all official here tonight for our race 1 in the Gold Series. Here we go to the final chicane. Yuval Merrick, he's going to take it down and around through the checkered flag. Congratulations. This is huge in the point as well. Yuval will take race 1 Gold Series here tonight from Spa. Here comes Alon Gabe. He'll take away P2. Ignacio Glumscher will finish P3. Rancesoni will actually take away P4. Then around there, steal it away there from Daniel Berezowski. Sisian Baba, Alian Galbag, Rodham Katz will take 6th, 7th, and 8th. Ayali and well as Yossi Gabe will take P10. Around Deliski, Alex Kozachuk, Mark Zubarev, Itzik Grossman, Matty Rosen, Dima Medvednik, Tomer Ventura, Omri Farag, Jor Last, Ido Baustan, Tom Rappaport, Asaf Yarin, rounding out that driver field grid. And once again, this is huge within these, it was a 1.7 second gap separating Yossi Gabe as well as Aaron Delitsky coming to that checkered flag for that P10 spot. You might be asking, why is that so important? Well, because top 10, once again, it is inverted for our Gold Series race, which does start here in just a few moments' time. My name's Sean Stam. Welcome into the Israel iRacing League, as well as the Stam Studio Network YouTube channels. I'll be right back with you up here in the booth. Alrighty, welcome back in here to Stamp Studio Network. Take a look at your screen. Here are the race results for heat race number 1, as well as these top 10 will be. Okay, excuse me. These is the heat race 1 results, but the top 10 there will be, of course, reversed for our Gold Series race. Yuval Merrick, Alan Gabay, Ignacio Glumser, Rancesoni, Daniel Berezowski, Tizian Baba, Eli Albag, Rodham Katz, Ayeli, as well as Yossi Gabay rounding at that top 10, but now it is once again swapped. Here we have the starting grid here tonight. Okay, well, you'll just have to trust me here. My gosh, sorry about that. Yeah, Yossi Gabay, Ayeli, as well as Rodham Katz will round out that top 3, and now that we have just about every single car gridded up, I'd once again like to thank every single one of you joining us in here tonight on IIL and SSN YouTube channels. This once again, the second heat race here within the Gold Series. This is going to be where it's all sort of transpires at. We now know what our cars feel like on these certain track conditions. Speaking of track conditions, if you take a look at the right side of your screen, there you see 31 degrees Celsius track temp, 20 degree ambient Celsius air temp, 16 kilometer hour wind to our backs. Cloudy over here tonight, so the track will definitely, it won't be too slick. There's a little bit of grip to work with, and there you see what, speaking of grip to work with, these Gold drivers aren't just doing this to put on a show. They are trying to heat up these tires and brakes every single tiny little bit that they can here before the start of our feature race. You want every tiny little advantage that you can get here, whether it's brake temps up to operating temps, tires up to operating pressures, whatever you can ask for. You're going to try to ask for every little bit here. Because here we go. This is going to be the feature race. Gold Series. We are 2 by 2 in front of our cardboard cutout fans here tonight from Spa, live from the virtual Belgium track. Here we go. It's going to be Yossi Gabay who's going to start off the pole after finishing in that 10th spot just in our feature race. Here we go. Green flag is out, and the field is going to be in Yossi's hands. Here comes Ayeli as well as Rodham Katz. First, second, third, fourth already starting to get single file. Matter of fact, the whole field is starting to look single file earlier on. This is something that we were starting to look at here, as now we're starting to get our way back and up to speed. This is on our way through the first chicane here, turns 3 and 4. We're going to look side by side. That's Alan Gabay and Yuval Merrick, fastest drivers here tonight. These drivers are looking to keep it clean early on, because look at this. You still have about 20 minutes to work with here tonight in this feature race, side by side in front of Alan Gabay. Oh no, it's going to be Ayeli. A little contact. What a save, as he still is trying to save that BMW GT3. Contact there. Mark Zubrev going to go around. Holy, what an incident earlier on in this race. Daniel will also get the worst of it here, backing up to the overall battle for the race lead. Once again, we have seen this time and time again. Yossi Gabay, he's showing us, even after finishing P10 within our first feature race, starts up on the pole here tonight from Spa out of Belgium. Yossi leading lap 1. Here comes some more side by side. We'll settle it back down. Here on Delitsky, Ayeli, Itzik Grossman, 9th, 10th, and 11th. This is all battles for points here. We are, oh no, that's the Ferrari. Alex Kozacek is running wide. Hopping on back on board with Alex. He's able to get all 4 tires back and underneath him, backing up to the battle for the race lead. Here comes Yossi Gabay, Eli Albag, newer driver. He's going to try that outside line here within the chicane. Does he make it work side by side once again? Door corner clear for Eli Albag. He's got the race lead here tonight from the race lead. The race feature from Spa. Here comes Baba playing some nice defense. Contact for the race lead. side by side here for Baba and Gabe for second and third. Eli Albach out of nowhere, out of turn 21. He'll make that pass for the race lead. Here's our way down and through Arus here. Eli leading Saisian. Here comes Yossi Gabe. Rodham Katz has already worked his way up to P4. Backing up here, the battle for the race lead. We're going to look side by side between our first section of chicanes here. Contact between the two race leaders once again. Eli, Albag, Sission Baba, side by side. Door quarter clear for that blue and white IIL, ILAKA BMW. Big sniffer out front. Baba looking B2. Here comes Gabe. Almost contact with the race lead once again. You can't get much better than this here in IIL. There, we're on board with Baba. Now we're going to hop on board with Gabe. We were about to look side by side with Rodham Katz and Rancesoni down there for fourth and fifth. Speaking of, Rancesoni will hop on board. We'll check on board with this driver in the live driver cam, the left side of your screen. We'll look side by side. Take a look at not even a blink going on there for Rancesoni. That is focused to the max for the 43 Ferrari GT3 machine. Ran works his way up to P4. He gets a little loose out of the gravel. He's going to look on the outside line. Ran gets out into the beach section once again. From P3 down to P9. Ran goes out of nowhere. Now Rand's going to be caught on the inside line here. Going to have to play a little bit of defensive maneuver. We'll go back and out to the battle for the race lead as this starts to heat up here. Eli Albag, Sission Baba will look door quarter clear. We'll settle it back down to single file. Here comes some nice action here between Yuval Merrick as well as Ignacio Glumser. Yuval coming away with heat race number 1. He's just trying to keep his front nose and rear diffuser clean as he tries to open the turn up here into turn 1 and 2. This will be down through Eau Rouge. You got to definitely open up Eau Rouge as we'll look side by side here and through turns 1 and 2. Ido Bastan, Dima is going to look side by side. We'll settle it back down to single file. How many times have we seen this side by side in the Israel iRacing League? This time it'll be for the lead once again. Baba versus Albag. This time it'll be through the uphill chicane, left, right, back into that right-hander section. Albag continuing to play some immaculate defense here as he's continuing to run away from Baba. But we do have some lap traffic approaching on these drivers ever so slightly. Not contact yet between our front two runners. We have seen it though, just a little squeeze. Possibly gone wrong. There you see the lap traffic up and front of these two front runners. That will be the McLaren of Mark Zubrev. Single file for our front runners at the moment. Matter of fact, single file just about all the way back into P13. Here is 2 by 2, 2 rows back. Spa, one of my favorite racetracks. You can run some side-by-side action here. You got, as a matter of fact, one of the fastest road course racetracks here, I do believe, within the F1 calendar. Daniel, he's going to try that left side. It'll switch back to the inside. He's able to get that throttle down, drop a gear, disappear for that BMW 321 GT3 machine. Daniel backing up to P12 for the moment. Back into the battle for the race lead. 0.3 of a second separating Albag and Baba here as these drivers continue to crest ever so closer to Mark Zubrev. Matter of fact, side by side, here we go once again. This is going to be Alon Gabe, Yuval Merrick, our front two runners, just one race ago, within our front feature race here. This is almost contact. Thankfully, Alon Gabe, he gets out of the gas there. You saw the flames fly out of the exhaust pipes there, not to turn his racing buddy around a Yuval there in front of him, but looks like, that was Yossi Gabe there out in front. Yuval is back there for P5, trying to gain that P4 spot. Eli, Sission Baba, Yossi Gabe, Alon Gabe, no correlation between third and fourth, as well as Yuval Merrick, who runs P5. Real quick here, I appreciate every single one of you joining in here tonight on our live broadcast. I was. There's no time for it. We'll get right back to racing. Elon, this is going. Excuse me. Yeah, Eli, not. Goodness, apologies there. Eli Albag is going to look around that outside line. Contact for the race lead. Eli Albag down and around. He's going to spin out with a little bit of help for Sission Baba. Here comes some more side by side. Yoshi will have that inside line. Alain Gabe will take away P2. What a move. What a move. How fast things can transpire. We'll take a quick look at that race replay between Baba and Albag. This was that battle for the race lead. Eli's going to have that outside line. Door quarter. He gets a little bit of help into that left side tire barrier. Back into this battle for this P2 and 3 spots. Alain Gabe back up to P2. He's got that Yoshi colored 17 BMW GT3 right there behind. 2 seconds separating Sission Baba and Alain Gabe for first and second. Here's that battle for the final driver interview spots. Yuval Merrick is a shark that smells blood in the water. He is that driver of the 25 Ferrari GT3 within striking distance of Yoshi Gabe. 10th of a second separating these two. Blue and white. ILAKA Esports colors going to work here. Does Yuval try the inside line? He can't. Yuval, no, he's going to try it here. Down the inside. Final chicane. No contact. Yoshi is going to give him room. There's the contact. Side by side for the final driver interview spot. 11 minutes to go. Hopping on board with Yuval, he'll have this inside line. He'll send it deep into turns 1 and 2 through a ruse coming up 2 here. Yoshi smartfully, rightfully so, is going to give that spot back here. Here's Rancizoni, Ayeli. We will look side by side between these two drivers. Now's a great time for it. Left side of your screen, real life driver cam for Rand. He's going to have to start playing some defense. Right side of your screen, real life, a virtual driver cam for Rand. Yuval, take a look at this, our race winner from heat race number 1. As we take a look at on the right side of your screen now, he's starting to play some World Cup-esque defense over Yoshi Gabe and Iran Deliski. Right now, calm as can be. Has the box fan blowing there for Yuval Merrick. Yuval down and out to that final driver interview spot here for the moment. How about Tom Rappaport's here? Tom Rappaport, Omri Fag, this is the spot for 12th and 11th. Tom looks like he's going to have to concede that spot here for the moment, as this is some really, really nice battling for 12th, 13th, as well as 14th. Omri Fag, Tom Rappaport, Ido Baustan, and Jor Last is about 15 seconds, 2.5 seconds behind this battle as well. All right, we're continuing to tick down here. We're about halfway through our feature race within the Gold Series. Go ahead. I think you all know what time it is. Enjoy the sights, the sounds here from Spa, this GT3 Gold Series. Crank it up. I'll be right back with you up here in the booth. Slowly. Go ahead and crank this back down before I get a little bit too excited, because the battle for the race lead here, it was just over 1 second. Right now, well, back down to a 1/10 of a second. Here's Alon Gabe. 5,000 road course I rating up against Sisyan Baba here. Sisyan with 2,000 road course I rating, more than double. Sisyan's going to have to try and play a little bit of defense here. He's going to get shoved wide on the rumble strip here. He's going to have to play the defensive line here going into the final chicane. That IIL McLaren GT3 for Alon Gabe. He doesn't shove it too far in there. This is once again the racecraft, the competitiveness between every single driver in the Israel iRacing League. You could call it. Baba leading Gabe, leading Merrick. You got to be careful here, though, if you are Alon Gabe. You have shown us that you've had the pace. So we hop on board with Alon here. You have the pace to pass Sisyan, but you have to do it cleanly, and you also have to make it a pass relatively quickly, so to speak, because Yuval Merrick, fastest driver, winner of gold feature race number 1. He's looking in the distance, just 2 seconds back. Here we go, side by side. This is going to be into our first chicane once again here tonight from Spa. There you see, driving the 15 McLaren. He's going to try and open it up, try and get that crossover. Doesn't get the gas down. Baba backing out to that race lead. He's going to solidify it for the moment, as we're going to come just to 5.5 minutes left to go in this race. If Baba has what this takes here, coming from all the way back to P5 and down and out to the race lead here tonight, leading Alon Gabe, a driver who has continued to show the pace that he has had. Doesn't even matter what car. Alon is definitely with our front runners. It's going to be a feat if Baba is able to pull this off. Matter of fact, Merrick continuing to close this gap. He's got it down. Remember, it was only 2 seconds last time we looked at it. Now back to 1.3 seconds. That's 7/10 of a second already gained within 1 lap for Yuval Merrick. Yossi Gabe, he's going to fall back to P4. Rain Sassoni falls back to P5, but he's trying to reel in Yossi Gabe as well as hold off a Yeli there for 4th and 6th. Battle for the race lead continuing to heat up. Just 0.3 of a second separating our front runners. 15.5 minutes down, 4.5 minutes left to go in our feature race for Gold Series. If your favorite driver is in second place here, don't count him out here, because look at what Alon is able to do here in the final chicane here at Spa. He was able to send it down there, door quarter clear for the race lead. Alon Gabe, here we go, side by side once again. I thought Alon got that power down and out of turn 21. Here we're gonna make a little bit of contact for the race lead. Boys, I told you to run. I told you to hide, because here comes Yuval Merrick. He was 2 seconds down, now just a half of a second down from that P2 battle. Here we go through Aruz for the second to third last final time here tonight. Gabe leading Baba. Here comes Merrick. We're going to hop on board here with Yuval. We got that virtual cam on that right side. Yuval's got a show up in front of him. He's got his drinks, his snack out. As we're going to look side by side. He looks cool, calm, and collected. This is a battle for the feature race win here. Yuval, he's going to try to switch back. Got steering on the wheel, sawing on the GT3 wheel, had to save that Ferrari from going around. Although he sits up 7 spots and gains since that drop of the green flag, not able to make a move yet. Still hopping on board with Yuval Merrick. Does he try down the inside line here, or just set back up and regroup and rearm for next lap? Like Yuval will regroup and rearm. I don't blame him here. There's only a few certain turns that you can really make a pass on here at Spas. Matter of fact, here's a really good chance at one of them, this uphill right-hander section. Yuval is able to close the gap back to Baba there for P2. And as these two start to battle, take a look at what Alon's able to do. He's able to run away with this race lead for the moment. Now looking at a half of a second separating P1 to P2. These second and third front runners here between Baba and Merrick. It's just separated between 0.07 of a seconds. Here's Yuval. He's going to have a look down the inside here, coming just to 18 minutes on the clock. That'll be 2 minutes to go. We'll be side by side between these two drivers. Will we get that white flag lap? It'll definitely be close. I don't think we will. I think we're actually at possibly looking at 2 laps to go here. Oh, no. There you see Barney the flagman waving that white flag lap. So this is our white flag run here tonight. Ranchisoni's got P5 solidified for the moment. Here's a Yelly as well as Daniel back into 6th and 7th. It's it, Grossman, Iran Delitsky, Matty Rosen. They're fighting it out for 8th, 9th, and 10th. Backing up to this battle for the race lead, only half of a second separating P1 and P2 right now. Alain Gabay, does he have what it takes to take it away from race win? Race win, heat win. Gold Series driver Yuval Merrick. He's continuing to close this gap as we're going to have just about 3/4 of the track to work with here. That's it. Windshield wiper is going to work, trying to get all the debris off the front windscreen machine of Yuval Merrick. This is going to boil down to a McLaren versus Ferrari GT3. Both these drivers both up shown 8 spots since that drop of the green flag. Here comes Gabay. He's got a 4/10 of a second lead over Merrick as we'll head our way down into a little short shoot section. It'll be a left-hander that goes into another chicane of a right-hander backing down the hill. This is starting to get good. Who has what it takes? Is Yuval close enough possibly to make a move here on Alain, coming to the checkered flag? Just a little under half this lap to go. That was through that first chicane. That was a really good passing opportunity to make there for Yuval if he was close enough. Here we go through the long sort of carousel right-hander section. It'll swoop back away to the left-hander. Yuval is close enough. He's within the slipstream range to possibly make something happen here. Coming to the checkered flag. This is going to get tight. Coming to the last 3 turns on the racetrack. Does Yuval possibly have any sort of draft to work with? Here we go. It's going to be into the last uphill section, the last uphill chicane. Here comes Merrick versus Gabay, side by side. Does Yuval have what it takes? He's going to have to try and get the gas down here out of the final turn. Turn 21 on the track. Coming to the checkered flag. It'll be Alain Gabay. Congratulations, Alain. You're going to put it to our heat race #1 winner. Alain, checkered flag is out for the 15 McLaren machine. Yuval Merrick, Sission Baba will take 2nd and 3rd. Our front driver interview. There we go. Here comes some side-by-side door corner. This is going to be 0.000 seconds at the line. We're going to give it to Idal Balstan. What a move for Balstan here. Take a look at what he did. I'm showing 0.000 seconds at the line. A tie between Matty Rosen, Idal Balstan. Excuse me, that's Idal Balstan and Dima Medvednik here coming to the start-finish line here. Take a look at what he did as we hop on board with the Idal Balstan. This is a run through our final checkered flag portion of the chicane here, up into the right hand, back into the left hand section here. Look at this, side by side, a little bit of contact, 0.00 seconds separating these two at the start finish line. Once again, you can't get much better than this. Who do you even give it to here? I don't know. It looks like that Porsche is just a tiny bit ways out front. Or is he? Or is he? Idal Balstan, Dima. What a race that was. Backing up to the top 3 here. It'll be Alain Gabay who takes away our checkered flag. Yuval Merrick will take away checkered flag of Silver Series Heat race #1. He'll take away P2 and feature race. Sission Baba, Yossi Gabay, Ranchisoni, Daniel Berezowski. It's it, Grossman, Ayeli, Aaron Deliski, Matty Rosen rounding out that top 10. Stick with us here on Stam Studio Network. Here are the unofficial feature results here. I'll get right with you with these driver interviews in just a few moments' time. Hey, Alain, you got your copy. Welcome to Stam Studio Network Victory Lane.
Hey, how are you?
I am great, to say the least. I don't know how I still have my voice. I was screaming this last couple of laps. Alon, you're going to take away the checkered flag, gained 8 spots on this feature race. Walk us through it, man. What was going through your mind?
Oh, damn, it was a crazy race. Yeah, I knew that as in every race I need to push and overtake as fast as I can. But I gotta say that this time I'm really surprised. Everyone drove like really nice. Everyone defended well and like gave me the space, and everything was really nice. So shout out to all the guys I was fighting with. You did great. And yeah, and eventually I finished first with the Yuval behind me on my back. And yeah, I'm really happy now.
Goodness gracious, Alon. 0.24 seconds separating yourself as well as Yuval coming to the start-finish line. The checkered flag. I mean, you know, we all know how much pace Yuval has here. How do you play defense? How do you try and hold that off as you're also trying to hit your best lap times?
Actually, I didn't try to beat my best lap times. I just tried to survive. Actually, I chose the wrong car, I guess. The McLaren wasn't so fast. I think the Ferrari and the BMW were much faster. But yeah, I tried to handle it and keep the pace and fight with my life. And I think it worked out.
Well, Alon, I appreciate you taking the time to join us here for this Victory Lane Drivers Interview booth. Who would you like to shout out? Is there anybody who makes this all possible for you to come race with us every other Monday night and show us all how it's done in the Gold Series?
As always, everyone here, amazing people. I love everyone, and from race to race, I'm really surprised to see how the level is improving. And yeah, I'm really happy about it, and let's look for the next races.
Oh, I can't wait. Congratulations once again on your win here tonight, Alon.
Thank you
Can't
very
wait for
much.
2 weeks' time.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, thank you. And with that being said, we're going to get to Yuval Merrick down there, our Gold Series Heat Race #1 winner. He'll finish, there we go, P2 in our feature. Yuval, you got yourself a copy, man.
Yeah, copy.
Well, yeah, you'll have to rewatch the Silver Series broadcast back, but we had one of the drivers thanking you for everything that you do here, and I would like to thank you for kind of getting this all worked out here. I vividly remember when, you know, hey, IIL needs a broadcaster, and you got this all set up. Well, Yuval, you got the pace here. You're going to bring it home P2, as well as win Heat Race #1 Gold Series. How do you do it here? That Ferrari, it had some immaculate pace here tonight. 3,300 I rating going to work.
And it was tough. Everyone was fast, like really fast. I was surprised to see the pace out of everyone. Everyone fought like crazy. And yeah, I just pushed and yep.
Gosh, that's I love what Tal does here with the Gold Series, that top 10 inversion after the feature race of Gold Series, and every single time I mean, respectfully, it seems like you will finish up there great within the first feature race, and then something within that restart or something happens just about every time within the feature race. But you got through it here tonight. There was a little bit of contact, but you made your way through it. What was going through your mind as you're coming to the green flag on that race restart?
Just to survive the first lap, and from then I can start pushing and overtake.
Oh, well, it looks like you did just that here, Yuval. Congratulations. We got your biggest fan in the background right there. Just like to shout them out. In all seriousness, so Yuval, who we shouting out to makes this all possible. Nope. Yuval, you still got a copy?
Yeah.
Is there anybody you'd like to shout out or makes this all possible for you?
Yeah, my sponsor, Drive yep. My car is covered in the logos, so yep.
That's what we like to see. I think I saw some MF racing there earlier on in the race too, so that was cool to see. Congratulations to you all on your P2 finish.
Thank you.
Thank you, man. And that being said, let's check who else we got in the old interview booth. Of course! Well, congratulations to Sission Bama, but how about to old Ran? You got yourself a copy, man.
Copy.
All righty, walk us through it. That was a really fun race to watch here. Looks like you're starting to get this new tire model on the GT3 down. You'll finish P5 in this feature.
Yeah, I think the first race went pretty well. The second race I got pushed into the gravel, and just like that I lost like 5 or 6 positions. And it's really critical here because everybody was driving fast, and if you're losing even half a second in the entire race, it's over. You wouldn't be able to get it back. You will have other people that you will try to fight and pass, and it's really tough round here in this combo of track and car. And still, even though I'm getting the hang of it, I still hate GT3s, man. I like cars with downforce, so I'm still struggling a bit, yeah.
Oh, it's well, at least you put on a show for us to watch here, Rand. I know you don't really have all the downforce to work with in the GT3 car, but man, you're in the Ferrari this week, and that you'll gain 2 spots in this feature race, and it's seriously just so much fun to watch you. How do you kind of put into words for somebody who, who is in maybe used to a prototype machine, who has not only the rear downforce but also the front downforce to work with? What are the main differences between like a GT3 and that LMP3 or even LMP2 machine?
I think that moving from a high downforce cars like an LMP machine into a GT car, it's mainly you feel like you're driving a bit in slow motion. I mean, the way shifts around, you kind of have to expect what the car will do in slow motion. You get what I'm saying? It's kind of everything happens a bit slowly, and you have to drive a lot smoother, less aggressive. Everything has to be gradual. So that's the main difference, yeah.
A lot more. It's interesting to see. You know, you drive some cars more with the feet. You drive some cars more with the hands. You drive some carts, some go-karts. Lots with the hands. Speaking of go-karts, Rand, before we let you go, walk us through the whole karting session, the whole trophy session, and who was fastest out there on the go-kart track.
So yeah, a couple of days ago we did a ceremony for the last 2 seasons for everybody to pick up their trophies, and we arrange a little competitions with all the sim races who've been in the last 2 seasons to go and do karting. It was really tough, really bumpy. It's a cement track on a rooftop, so it was super bumpy, super physical. You really feel it. I mean, you do 2 sessions of 10 minutes and you just get wrecked. I mean, yeah, it's really tough. It really depends on the kart that you will get. And of course, in professional karting, there's BOP. That means that lighter guys will get weights, and heavier guys will remove weight. So everybody will be in the same weight category. But still, I think that draw last was really fast. Itzik Grossman. I can say that I was pretty fast, but I think Itzik Grossman was the fastest, yeah.
Oh, rental carts are always a blast. Rand, I really appreciate that, and thanks for, I know you got the meta glasses too. I was showing that on the stream starting screen. I showed your one of the videos you posted to your Instagram. Yeah. So the point of view of taking it to the carts there. It looked so bumpy. Your head was bumping around everywhere, man.
Yeah, it was mini Sebring.
Well, Rand, before I let you get going there, I appreciate it once again, and congrats on your P5 finish in the feature. Is there anybody who makes this all possible, or who would you like to thank and shout out here?
Yeah, so thanks for Tal and ILAKA for making this possible. For everybody that is taking race with us and participating. And for you, Sean, in STEM Racing Studios, thank you very much.
Hey, thank you so much, Rand. That goes a long way, and man, I can't wait till 2 weeks' time. I almost wish IIL was every week, but we'll keep it every other week. And congratulations on your P5. It's gonna get tight within the points.
Thank you very much, man.
Thank you, Ran. And I think with that being said, that'll be all the driver. Oh, there's Ignacio. Okay, Ignacio, you got yourself a copy before we head on out of here.
Yeah, on the
Hey,
first race.
Man, walk us through it here tonight. We saw the Ford Mustang, at least in the Silver Series, have some pace. This heavy GT3, best sounding GT3 here on the track. You'll bring it home P18 in the feature. What was it like here tonight on track, Ignacio?
It was nice. I liked it. I like really much Spa. I think it's my favorite circuit. And slowly learning about the GT car coming from the LMP. So yeah.
And I know I kind of asked Rand the same question, but you bring it up there. What's been the biggest difference coming from like a Le Mans prototype machine back and down to a GT3 machine?
It all takes more time of braking, more time of like moving the steering wheel, and that's makes me anxious because I want to just turn it around like karting and the LMP. But yeah, it's what it is.
It's so much fun to watch you here, Ignacio. I know we had, I think, a replay or two with you involved in it. What was your race like here tonight? I know you had at least one incident earlier on that I think we got in the broadcast. Also a replay of it here. What was it like kind of behind the wheel tonight and trying to conquer Spa from a Ford Mustang?
I like the Mustang the most because it's the most oversteering car. The go-kart. Yeah, I think the McLarens had a really fast speed straight, which was difficult to beat. But out of that, it was I think it was comparable to the fastest cars.
Well, thank you so much for hopping up in the broadcast booth and the driver interview booth with us here tonight. Is there anybody who you'd like to thank or shout out to here, Ignacio, before we get going?
Yeah, everyone in the organization. Really, it was really fun. The go-kart event in the previous week. Yeah, and thank you also to watch it after the race. Also makes it really fun.
Thank you so much, Ignacio. I know we're looking at the replay of you here getting just a slight tag around, but you made a really, really good comeback there to finish 18th. And I know I say 18th, but every little bit helps out in the points, and I can't wait to see this pace in 2 weeks' time.
Yeah, hopefully. That's it. Thanks.
Hey, thank you, Ignacio. You have a great rest of your night. Alrighty, well, with that being said, I think, let me check in here once again. Yeah, that's everybody out there out of the driver interview booth. Yeah, okay, well, I appreciate everybody once again. Thank you all so much for joining in here on SSN and the IIL YouTube channel. I'll see you about 2 weeks' time. Until then, if you want some more racing, tonight I got West Coast Sim Racing League, the GR86 League, coming at you live from Brands Hatch, so that'll be fun to watch. Appreciate you all, and you all have a great rest of your night. Thank you so much.